Good morning, everyone. It is Mr. Garcia, and I'm here to give you a quick little tutorial walkthrough on how to take your final. I will also be reading the questions and the possible answers for you, just in case you need that extra support. So, if you are watching this video, then chances are you most likely got an email saying that you will be taking your final with me, either period 1, 2, or 6 from Miss Darling's class, okay? So just to get started, once you get into my pride time, you will see your period will most likely be the most recently period posted. So I've only done period 1 at this time because that's the next class up. So you'll see Jason Garcia posted a new assignment, Garcia English 11, period 1, first semester final. Go ahead and click that. You will see this page. So there's a little message here for me, and here you will see the Google form. Go ahead and click on this Google form here, and it'll take you straight to the test. Now, I will walk through this with you very quickly, just to make sure that everybody has an idea of what they need to do. It's pretty self-explanatory, but just in case. So make sure you are, in Garcia English 11 for first semester final. Your first and last name needs to go in here, so Jason Garcia. And your email address. I'm just going to type in my work one. .us. And then once you've done that, you will hit next, and it will take you to the first section. Now there are 6 sections for the test, counting that first one. So technically this is section 2, and you're going to see that these questions are about writing. So you're going to select the best answer for each question, and each question only has one answer. So question number 1, what does tags stand for? Does it stand for title, author, grade, summary, title, author, genre, summary, or title, audience, genre, summary? So whichever one you think it is, go ahead and click this radio button that you think corresponds with the answer. To get through this, I'm just going to click the first option for every question so you guys can see what the test is going to look like. But chances are the first option is not going to be the answer for every single question. So I would not follow my lead here if I were you. Next question, true or false? Tags can be written in any order, and this is simple. It's either true or it's false. Again, I'm just going to click the first one for the sake of getting through the demo and move on to the next one. Now, what does the AT in ATDQPC stand for? Does it stand for attributive tag, attention title, or admitted truths? So again, I'm going to pick the first one. We'll move on to the next question. What does the DQ in ATDQPC stand for? Does the DQ stand for different quotient, direct quote, or daring quote? So again, pick the one you think is the best, select the radio, and move forward. Now, what does the PC in ATDQPC stand for? So does the PC stand for partial commentary, parenthetical citation, parenthetical closing? Again, select your answer, move on to the next one. When writing an essay, textual evidence should be included in the introduction. Is that true or false? 50-50 chance here. Just pick one. Again, I'm picking the first one. Next question. Essays are always 5 paragraphs. Note that always is in all caps. Is that true or false? Select your answer. Move on to the next question. Commentary should follow after textual evidence. Is this true or is this false? Should your commentary come after your textual evidence? And I'm going to select true. Once you've selected all the answers for this portion, you're going to go ahead and click next, and this will take you to the next section. Now, this next section starts with our questions about the crucible. So here you're going to select the best answer for each question, and each question only has one answer, so there's no multiple answers here. So this first question, why did Arthur Miller write The Crucible? Is it because he wanted to know more about the Salem witch trials? It is a response to the panic of the Red Scare and McCarthyism, or the HUAC told him he needed to write it to prove his innocence? Let's select your answer, move on to the next question. During which era did the Red Scare occur? So what time frame did this happen? Was it the 1950s, the 1960s, or the 1970s? Again, select your answer and move on. Now, what is the crucible an allegory for? That was one of the words that we discussed before starting this reading. What is the crucible an allegory for? Is it an allegory for Puritanism, for communism, or for McCarthyism? Think about that one. Select your answer. Move on to the next question. What fueled the mass hysteria in the Crucible? Was it revenge? Was it fear? Or was it altruism? Which one of these three fueled the mass hysteria in the Crucible? Select your answer. Move on to the next one. Now, where did the Crucible take place? Was it in Maine, in New York, or in Massachusetts? So where did it take place? Select your answer. Move on to the next one. In the Crucible, an accused witch can escape execution by doing what? Confessing to the charge, denying the charge, or hiring a lawyer. Again, which one of these would allow an accused person to escape execution or not be executed? Select your answer. Move on to the next one. Which of the following is not a major theme of the Crucible? Is it fear often leads to loss of reason? There is danger in blindly following ideology? Or is daring to follow one's dreams will lead to happiness? So again, which one of these is not a major theme or subject of the Crucible? Select your answer. Next question. Elizabeth Proctor misses the opportunity to prove Abigail's motives by cursing Abigail Williams, denying her husband's affair, or confessing to witchcraft. Select your answer. Move on to the next one. Giles Corey cannot be condemned a wizard and hanged because he confesses, refuses to answer the charge, or condemns an other. So which one of these are the reason why he cannot be condemned as a wizard and hanged? Again, pick the first one. Move on to the next. Besides John Proctor, another dynamic character in the Crucible is, and think about what a dynamic character is. This was part of your study guide. It's something we talked about in the class. It was part of your vocabulary. So besides John Proctor, another dynamic character in the Crucible is Abigail, Reverend Hale, or Mary Warren. Select your answer. Move on to the next one. Oh, true or false? Again, 50-50 chance. True or false? Hale wants Proctor to sign his confession. Is that true or is that false? Select your answer and move on. Another true or false, another 50-50 shot. The girls are able to get Mary to change her testimony by pretending that they were bewitched by her or possessed or controlled by her. So again, the girls were able to get Mary to change her testimony by pretending that they were bewitched by her. Is that true or is that false? And the last question for this section, another last true or false. Elizabeth Proctor refuses to influence John one way or the other about signing the confession. Elizabeth Proctor refuses to influence or talk to John about going one way or the other about signing the confession. Is that true or is that false? Select your answer and click next. Now, if you haven't answered every question at this point, it won't let you move on. So if you skipped one, you need to go back to it and answer it, and then you can move forward. So we've answered everything, so let's go next. Now this one has character identification, so you're going to match the character with the description. And each character is only used once. So there's going to be 10 questions, and the way you're going to answer the question is you will read the question. So the first question is, this character gives Goody Proctor a puppet with a needle in it. You'll click the arrow, and you will see your 10 options here. So I will read the options to you just this one time. After that, I'm not going to read them anymore. I'm just going to read the questions. But your 10 options are, and it's the same 10 options for every question. So is it Abigail Williams, Giles Corey, Goody Ann Putnam, Goody Rebecca Nurse, John Proctor, Mary Warren, Reverend Hale, Reverend Paris, Thomas Putnam, or Tituba? You would select your answer. And again, I'm just going to select the first option here to move forward with the demo. Again, this character gives Goody Proctor a puppet with a needle in it. Click the button, choose your answer. This character accused others of witchcraft in order to try and gain their land. Again, click the arrow. It's the same options that we had before. Pick your answer and move down to the next one. This character is the ringleader of the girls and is jealous of Elizabeth Proctor. She tries to use power in the town to get rid of Elizabeth Proctor and any others who have insulted her in the past. Again, click your radio option or your drop-down option and choose your answer. This character is a scholarly preacher from out of town who is called to Salem to rid the town of demonic forces. Again, click the arrow, choose your answer from the 10, and move on. This character is a respected, pious old woman who has often acted as a midwife and has been a grandmother many times. She is eventually accused of murdering Goody Putnam's babies. So who is that? Click the arrow, choose your answer, and move on. Now again, I just want to say at this point again, each character is only used once. So if you've already used Abigail Williams, for example, you would not pick Abigail Williams again here. Each character is only used once. This character is a very superstitious woman who has lost 7 children in childbirth and believes witchcraft is to blame. Click the arrow, pick your answer, move on to the next question. This character is the town preacher who is very concerned with his reputation and what he has. Click the button, choose your answer, and move on. This character is pressed to death. His last words are, "More weight." Click the arrow, choose your answer. This character is haunted by his past sins and is the tragic hero of the play. Click the arrow, choose your answer, move on to the next one, which is the last one in this case. Now, this character becomes an easy target and is used as a scapegoat because she is a slave. Click the arrow, choose your answer, and now we are all done with this section. We will click next and move on to the next section. So this is quote identification, so you're going to select the speaker of each quote. So who said the quote, basically? Because it is my name, because I cannot have another in this life, because I lie and sign myself to lies, because I am not worth the dust on the feet of them that hang. Who said that? Was it Giles Corey, John Proctor, or Reverend Harris? Select one, move on to the next one. Oh, also, there's only one question. Only one person said these quotes. There's not 2 people who said the exact same thing. Just a quick tip. So only one answer per question here. I denounce these proceedings. I quit this court. Who said this? Was it Reverend Hale, Judge Danforth, or Judge Hawthorne? Select your answer and move on. Let either of you breathe a word or the edge of a sword about the other things, and I will come to you in the black of some terrible night, and I will bring a pointy reckoning that will shudder you. Who said that? Was it Abigail Williams, Mary Warren, or Susanna Wallcroft? Choose your answer and move on. We are what we always were in Salem, but now the little crazy children are jangling the keys of the kingdom, and common vengeance writes the law. Who said this quote? Was it John Proctor, Reverend Hale, or Rebecca Nurse? Select your answer and move on. Last one for this section. I do not judge you. The magistrate sits in your heart that judges you. I never thought you but a good man, John, only somewhat bewildered. Who said that? Was it Rebecca Nurse, Elizabeth Proctor, or Abigail Williams? Select your answer. Again, last question of the section, so we will click next. All right, and this should be the last section of the test. Yeah, so the last section is vocabulary. So you're going to select the term that best matches the definition. So we give you the definition and you pick the vocabulary word, correct vocabulary word. So the first one is, characters who change over the course of the play are considered static characters, dynamic characters, or minor characters. Choose your answer and move on. Characters who do not change over the course of the play are considered, again, characters who do not change for this one over the course of the play are considered static characters, dynamic characters, or minor characters, Select your answer and move on. Next question. A character with heroic or noble traits, but also has flaws which may lead to their downfall or death. This is an antagonist, a tragic hero, or a protagonist? Which one is it? Select your answer and move on. Now, the central idea or message in a work of literature, is that a theme, a denouement, or a purpose? Select your answer. Now, we've come to this section. You are now done with the final test. You will click submit and you will be good to go. I'm not going to click submit because I don't need to submit an answer and I don't want to have to look at my own test again later. But that is it for the final. Once you've got to this part, you are done. Make sure you hit submit. If you just exit out of it, it will not save your answers. They will not go through and you will get a 0. So again, once you come to the end here, make sure you hit submit. All right? Everybody, do the best you can. You got this. Good luck, and may the force be with you.